you.
Yeah, madam, see, we have some of the problems for centuries. For example, Ram Mandir, it's solved, and the major problem in US being H1B, it's been pending for over, I would say, 30 years. See, the greatest quality of any leader is he has done everything, and every Indian is thankful for him rest of our life, but he has given back that credit to each American Indian. That is the quality and a true trait of a leader. When it is a successful venture, he has given back that credit to all Indians, all 1.4 billion Indians and all 4 million Indians. And when something is going wrong or bad, he takes the responsibility.
That was the theme over here. The overriding theme over here was the contribution of Indian Americans in building America and the American society. While they talk about shared values, both the countries, the leaders, and shared culture, the values and culture have been very, very different. But because of the growing Indian community's presence in America, there is a shared aspect of how Indian culture and Indian values have become a part of the American society as well. So a lot of people over here who got up to hail Prime Minister Modi. What was your biggest takeaway from the speech?
Well, it's a new era for the relationship between India and the United States now, right? So we've had prime ministers come and go, but what Modi ji has done in the last 9 years, it's a strategic partnership. It's a completely different type of relationship where U.S. respects India as an equal partner and wants to collaborate, wants to partner with the two largest democracies. It's a big shift in U.S. thinking about India as well.
So, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given also a world view, broadened it, zoomed out, and spoke about how India on the global map now looks different, and how countries view it also is very different. From this very stage, he said goodbye, and he left for Egypt. It's not like he's going home directly. There is another very important visit, and that is to Egypt. That also will carry a lot of weight and importance. India engaging North Africa, the Muslim world, and ensuring that Egypt, also inviting Egypt as a special guest at the G20, ensuring that Egypt, which is a very important country in that region, also is engaged with. President Sisi was the chief guest at the Republic Day function, and now we will be seeing the second leg of the two-nation tour of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But coming back to America and the major deliverables over here, looking at people, looking at how the entire visit has been viewed, it is indeed historic. A state visit, a very important visit at that when it comes to India and America. This is in the last year of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's second tenure and the last year of President Biden's first tenure. Both will be looking at elections, and they're all prepared. Looking at their own constituency, they would have wanted a successful visit of Prime Minister Modi, and it really happened because this was a visit that had a lot of deliverables, especially in the defense cooperation sector. The thrust was not just technology sharing and the fact that there's going to be complete trust when it comes to technology transfer. It's also about how India has pushed for and asked America to ensure that if they're buying from India or if they're looking at it, if they're selling to India, then when they're manufacturing, they should source from India. If they're manufacturing out of America and they're looking to sell stuff to India, then they should look at manufacturing in India. And that joint cooperation comes about with the GE F414 jet engine deal with HAL. So the B2B, B2Gs continue, but the G2G level has certainly gone really up when it comes to not just the deals, not just the strategic and the economic aspect, but also the personal aspect. We've not seen a President of the United States of America always go out of the way to meet an Indian Premier on every occasion. In the past few occasions, outside of the state visit, where President Biden did go out of the way with a private dinner, the Indian community in throngs on the south lawns of White House, not like it has not happened in the past. During Manmohan Singh's time also, there was an Indian community event, but certainly not in the scale, the mass and scale of the event was unmatched. And of course, then the finer touches. First Lady looking into what the spread is going to be, taking into account the fact that International Milk Year was announced by India, that is part of the menu. The performances at White House included Indian American students from Pennsylvania University. They call themselves Pen Masala, taking from Pan Masala. So those were nuances in terms of personal ties, and that really reflects and translates into how people over here react. Let's go across. Before I toss back, let's go across. Just before you leave, I know you're almost done and you're calling it a night. Come on. What was your biggest takeaway from the speech that you heard?
No, it was very inspirational. I think this is kind of a pivotal moment for U.S.-India relations, and being an Indian American, it makes us very proud, you know, just to see the two countries coming together and India coming so forward. I think India has the potential to be a superpower, just like the U.S. or any other country.
So I think, yeah, I totally agree with her, but being second generation from our parents from India and giving a lot of opportunity, just seeing that continued alliance and the commitment of that happening as well, like supporting women and how much like they're doing for in India now, like in supporting like technology and just really the infrastructure to create more financial strength. So I'm very happy with whatever I heard. Thank you.
Right. Just one more question. Prime Minister Modi, when he came last time around, and when he's traveled abroad, he's always asked the Indian community outside, Indian Americans outside, to convince your own friends over here to travel to India, explore India, see India. Have you done that with your friends since you're second generation here?
So my wife and I, last time we went was just about
a few
6 months ago.
Yeah.
4 months ago.
Right. We went to Ajanta, Ellora. Every time we go, we see something new, and it's such a beautiful.
Do you take American friends along? So you also are part of.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes many of our American friends have been, you know, if there's a wedding, sometimes American friends will come along too. So
maybe for the summit, the G20 summit's going to be there, that we'll try to go back, so that will be exciting. But we go all the time, and we try to encourage our friends as well, because there's a lot to see there.
Okay. So do you want to say something?
Yes, I'm a chairman of the Parikol World Media. And
what is it that you? What was the biggest takeaway from the speech of the Prime Minister?
I think the speech of the Prime Minister says that there is a lot of understanding between President Biden or US administration and Indian administration, and out of that two highlights are, one is GE going to start manufacturing the engines, GE engine, fighter jet engine into the India, and that will give us India not only manufacturing facility, jobs, but in case of the war with the China, then we can use that fighter plane without.
I get it. Everybody over here now has started understanding the nuances of strategic importance of manufacturing in India, and that's why they say if ever China does something, then we should be prepared, and this is working towards that preparedness.
All right. What a fantastic 4-day state visit it's been. Thank you very much, Geeta. Of course, India Today has been really bringing our viewers every aspect of this very important strategic state visit of Prime Minister Modi to the United States. This is the first that he's been invited to. In every way, this was iconic, unprecedented, and has now established greater ties with the United States. when it comes to trade, bilateral talks in every sense. This was one of the most important meets in recent times.